Hey y'all. I'm Mary.
I'm Christina.
And this is
True Crime Down Yonder.
Let's Get It.
I'm supposed to talk now.
Yes, you are. Hello, everybody.
Hi, welcome back. Sorry we haven't been in for a while. We got some new equipment and realized that we didn't know a goddamn thing about working it. So it's taken a while, but
apparently half the battle is figuring out how to use the shit. So,
last week we recorded an hour and a half of material, 2 episodes.
Yeah.
A regular and a mini, and couldn't even put it out because I sounded like I was in a damn fish tank.
We got a new computer, and this computer is like super
high tech.
High tech, yes, to say the least. It's super high tech, and we did not realize that it had a built-in microphone, so the whole time we were recording, it used the computer's microphone other than ours. Before we even realized it.
And so she was sitting right in front of it, so it was picking up her voice fine. Meanwhile, I'm like the Peanuts teachers. I'm like, womp, 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 womp. So, anyway, hopefully everything's going to work out. Hopefully we know enough to get through this. So,
yeah.
So, what are we getting into this week?
Well, we are going to get into the murder of Captain Robert Poynter. And the reason why I decided to do this case was I actually started researching this whenever we were in the middle of that really, really bad ice storm. And just for some reason, I got to thinking about Texas. I know Texas was really hitting it hard at that time. Uh-huh. And I know that we usually cover the states from the southeast. And Texas is part of the South, but not necessarily the Southeast.
All my exes live in Texas.
Yeah, they live in Tennessee, too.
Oh, I mean, exes in Texas. It was just George Strait's song. I know that. Figure I'd throw that out there. I know. I'm cute.
Yes. Very cunning. You're very cunning.
Cunting?
Cunting. Yeah, cunning and cunting. Anywho. But yeah, so I really wanted to cover this case. I actually originally saw this case on the first 48 mystery. Not the first 48.
48 mystery. Hours mystery.
48 hours mystery. I'm getting them all mixed up. But yeah, because you know how there's a regular 48 hours and there's a 48-hour mystery. I'm pretty sure it was the mystery. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But anywho, let's go ahead and let's jump in. So this case takes place in Royse City, Texas, which is, I think it's right outside of Dallas. It's a suburb of Dallas. And I always like to start out by talking about our victim first. So Robert Poynter was born in Utica, Michigan on April 30th, 1969. He was the first son to Robert Louis Poynter Jr. and Mary Habersack. I believe later his parents had divorced and his mom had ended up remarrying and his dad as well, but they don't really talk about that much. I know that Robert did have 3 sisters named Cheryl, Jennifer, and Marga, and he also had 2 brothers named Ryan and Scott.
It's a big family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Robert was actually a 3rd because his dad was a junior. Anyways, Robert ended up marrying his high school sweetheart in the late 80s. Her name was Miss Amy Poynter. Amy and Robert had 2 daughters, Natalie and Nicole. They were just a real regular family, pretty much. Robert began his career as a fireman with the University Park Fire Department in 1996. He later actually became captain in 2012. A lot of his fellow firemen and his fire buddies, they always talked about what a big heart he had. The main thing that usually people talked about with him is that he was just a gentle giant. He was a really big guy. He was like 6'4", 300 pounds. I mean, he was a big guy. So Robert's fire buddies would talk about this time where they went out to go put a fire out at a family's home, and a little girl was out there in distress, and she was just extremely upset, and he actually took the time to just pick her up and hug her to tell her it was going to be okay. And that was just one example that they used. He's actually done that in like several different instances, but that was probably the most recent one. And they said he was all about his little girls, and he was just a great guy. Unfortunately, in 2007, Robert's 20-year marriage to Amy began to unravel. Amy stated that Robert became more distant and short with her. He was coming home really late, eventually turning into coming home less and less, and it was always some kind of excuse. Now, Nicole, Robert and Amy's eldest daughter, found out her dad had a second cell phone. After pondering on that a little while, she decided that she was going to tell her mom about it. So she did.
How long did she ponder? Like 2 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know.
She's a kid. I doubt she pondered very long about it, but okay.
Later, Amy and the girls later found out that Robert was seeing another woman, actually a much younger woman, and her name was Chasey Tyler Mormon. Chasey was a nursing aide. She was 20 years old at the time, and Robert was just 38, which he was 18 years her senior. According to the other guys at the fire hall, Chasey was the one that pursued Robert. She would show up at the fire hall to look for him and conversate with him. Like, she was just extremely flirty. She was just very persistent the way they made it out to be. Chasey stated they met through a mutual friend, but claims she had no idea he was still actively married, but separated.
Not actively married?
Yeah, she said that they were separated. That's what she claims they were. But clearly they were not.
Okay.
So once Amy found out that Robert was seeing Chasey, of course she filed for divorce and they decided to split. And he pursued his relationship with Chasey. So this all started in December of 2007. Chasey was pregnant with her and Robert's youngest daughter, which this is Chasey's first child.
Okay.
Robert's last. In May of 2009. Not too long after she found out she was pregnant, they were married. They married on December 28th, 2009. At the time, she was 22 and he was 40. Chasey claims that about 3 years into the marriage, they began to grow apart and sleeping in separate bedrooms. Now, I know that one time, like we were talking about, it's not really just sleeping in separate bedrooms sometimes doesn't mean that you're necessarily having a bad marriage.
Yeah, I know. I think everybody thinks that if you're not sleeping in the same bed as your spouse, that you're having problems. But, you know, I've actually talked to Jeremy about getting a sleep divorce. And he doesn't want to do it. But I snore really bad. And we have this ongoing problem. He tries to fall asleep before I do, which usually he does because our sleep schedules are completely different.
Right.
But he gets up early in the morning. And then when I work, I only work 3 days a week, but I work 12-hour shifts and I work at night. So it's hard for me to get back on that schedule of staying up all day and then going to bed at night. So usually he falls asleep before I do. So it kind of works out. But yeah, he said he says I'm like so I mean, and I've actually talked to him about it because he's like, you were sawing logs last night. I'm like, maybe because we have that bedroom. It's not really a spare bedroom. It's his daughter's bedroom, my stepdaughter's bedroom, but they're only with us every couple weeks or so. So I thought, well, maybe I could just sleep down there when they're not here, but he doesn't want to do that. But no, I don't think it doesn't necessarily means that you're having marital problems if you're sleeping in the same bed.
Gary says that I snore, that I'll wake up and he's on the couch. But yeah, no, I get that. I don't necessarily think that means that either. I feel like if you've been with somebody for so long,
yeah,
it happens sometimes.
Yeah, and my husband hates when I watch my
murder
true crime shows.
While he's falling asleep.
My true crime shows while he's trying to go to sleep. He says he dreams about it. He says he dreams that he's like being killed or something.
I've done that before,
and the crazy thing is, I dream that I'm killing somebody, but he dreams that he's being killed.
I usually dream, like, I used to fall asleep with Forensic Files always leaving on, and I would
Forensic
always have these crazy
Files
dreams.
Is a little creepy.
Yeah, but I would always have these, like, I would always have, See, that's funny. You would always have a dream that you were killing somebody. He was having a dream you were being killed. I was having a dream that I was watching people getting killed. So.
Okay. No, I mean, I would just kind of dream that I had done something really bad, and then I felt horrible about it, and I was, like, afraid of, the repercussions of that, and then I would wake up, and I'd be so glad that I didn't actually murder someone. And likewise, I can't sleep while he's watching obnoxious cartoons.
Is that what he does?
Yeah, that's what he's into. And he thinks I'm so fucked up in the head because I watch true crime. But he watches... And here's the thing about my husband. He can watch fictional crime all day long. I mean, Silence of the Lambs real. Type shit. Yeah. And he's fine with it. He just thinks it's, like, so much more fucked up. It's like a deeper... It's on another level if it's true crime. Mm-hmm. Even though people actually did this shit. But no, he... Yeah, he likes fictional crime. He likes South Park, and which, I mean, some of those cartoons are really funny, but it's like
they are
when you're trying to sleep and it's like just the kind of noises that they make. It makes it really difficult.
Anyways, she was talking about they were sleeping in separate bedrooms. Also, according to Chasey, she felt like Robert was still in love with his ex-wife and that she had all of him. So that pushed her away a little bit. Chasey also claims that Robert began taking testosterone and steroids to treat low testosterone levels.
Well, that's what you get when you marry somebody who's almost 20 years older than you.
She also claims he would become angry and abuse her physically and emotionally. Her direct quote was, "He would grab my hair, slam me into a wall, things like that." When asked why she never reported the abuse, she replied, "He's a fireman, and I just didn't want him to lose his job." Amy did confirm that Robert was getting treatments for his low testosterone, but for him to get angry and abusive has never been him, so she called her bluff on that one. She said that she did not think that was true.
Yeah, and I mean, I would think that if he did undergo some treatment for that if he started seeing those side effects, if it turned him into somebody that he wasn't normally, if it made him lose his temper or caused him to be abusive, I would think that he would see a doctor about that, stop the treatment or,
right,
intervene, have some sort of intervention with that. But I don't know.
Right. Well, I'm sitting over here talking about really all the bad in that relationship. And really it's because really the only good thing she really had to say about him was that he was just really fun and he was a funny guy.
This is Chasey?
Yeah.
Talking about him? Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, they were married for like 7 years and... that's really like the only good thing she said about him. So apparently, like,
a fun guy that liked to grab her by her hair and slam her into walls. Got it.
Yeah, we're about to talk about how much of that age difference is really the problem because she was super young when she got with him.
Yeah, and we're not trying to say that age difference.
No, I'm not trying to say that.
Always makes a difference. The way I feel about that is I think the older you get, the less an age difference makes.
Correct.
But I think when you're in your early 20s and you're dating somebody that's close to 40, you're in two different places in life.
Right. You are.
I mean, you probably just would not have a lot of common ground. Now, I mean, give it 10 years, maybe that would be a little better if she was like in her 30s and he was like in his 50s. Yeah, I could kind of see that. But... not at the age of 20 and 38. Because I know I'm 38 and I really don't have much in common with a 20-year-old.
Yeah, me neither. I'm 30 and I don't
have wait a minute. Am I 38?
Yes,
I'm not.
38.
No, I'm not 38. Hold on. How old am I? I'll be 38 this year. I'm 37.
Okay.
I'm at the age where I lose track of my age.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I'm 30 and I don't have much in common with a 20-year-old. And you also got to keep in mind that by the time that Chasey and Robert had a child, this is Chasey's very first child. Robert's already has two pretty much already grown girls. So he's been through this twice. So, I mean, like, he's more experienced in certain areas. And you'll see a lot as I get a little bit more into this case, how I think she used their daughter as a pawn in a way.
Okay.
And we'll get into that in just a second. But anyway, so Amy said that Robert was never abusive to her or her girls. Actually, when Robert's youngest daughter, Natalie, was 16, she lived with her dad and Chasey for about 6 months. According to the Dateline interview with the daughter, she never saw her dad get violent with anyone, much less Chasey. When confronting Chasey about her false accusations against Robert's abusiveness, she stated, "They've never liked me. I was the younger woman that came in and took their dad."
Okay. I mean, I guess I can see that, but I don't see him just standing around while he's beating the hell out of this girl and not saying anything to anybody.
Right. I mean,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, why would you, if he was just sitting there beating the shit out of her, why would she be there and be like, "Oh, that never happened"? I mean, I guess some people do that.
Yeah, it's possible, but I don't really see it with this case, but we'll see. Continue.
Alrighty. So, actually, like in a few years in, around 2014, Chasey lost a total of 104 pounds. So that's like pretty much a whole person she had lost.
Yeah, I wonder how much she weighed or how big.
She didn't even really look like that huge of a girl. She really didn't. I mean, she was a thicker girl, but she had gotten pretty skinny though.
That's a lot of weight. Yeah,
she had gotten pretty skinny. So according to her, she said that Robert really didn't like her skinny. She said that he liked her when she was a little bit bigger and that she just felt like he wasn't attracted to her anymore.
Okay.
I guess he liked bigger women. I mean, hey.
But
for the big girls. But I really don't think he shunned her like that. That's just how I feel. I mean, he might have actually. I don't know. I can't sit there and say that.
I mean, I've heard of that happening before, where somebody's just trying to get healthier, live a better lifestyle, but they're not. When they lose a ton of weight, they're not what their significant other was attracted to because their significant other liked the original body type.
Right.
So, yeah, I can see it.
I mean, yeah, that could happen. I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit biased when it comes to this.
You got to do what's best for you, so.
I mean, just...
but, I mean, then again, I mean, if he married her for the person she was, I'm going to assume.
Yeah.
So, you wouldn't think that would make that much of a difference, but... Yeah, who knows?
Well, being with Chasey, I don't think it was all rainbows and butterflies.
Well, she was 20. It should have been all rainbows and butterflies.
Well, it got worse as she got a little bit older. You would think she probably matured more, but she got worse.
All the emojis.
Yeah. Well, with all that weight loss came like a new sense of confidence. She started to kind of, flirt around with more guys.
She going back down to the fire station?
Several other guys. Yeah. Hold on, we'll get to that. Natalie stated that while she was living with her dad and Chasey would leave at odd hours of the night, and she would always say that she was going to places like the gym, which I know that's not, weird for somebody to go in the middle of the night, but they just thought it was weird for her.
I leave in the middle of the night to go to Waffle House and Dunkin' Donuts all the time.
I leave in the middle of the night to go to, well, I used to go to Walmart, but now they don't have 24-hour Walmarts anymore.
Yeah, that's not a big deal.
She said that she would leave her and Robert's then 4-year-old daughter at home alone at night while Robert was on shift, and then she would go out and spend her time with her lovers.
Okay, that's not cool.
According to Natalie, she said that sometimes Chasey would just leave her little sister home with her, but if she was not there, she would just leave her home alone while she was sleeping. She was trying to hide these affairs from Robert naturally, but his daughter felt like it was time to tell her dad.
His daughters be snitching.
I'd be snitching too, though.
They be snitching.
Yeah, she
told her mom about his extra cell phone, and now she's telling dad about stepmoms running around. Okay.
I probably would have confronted her first.
What do you mean? Oh, the woman?
Yeah.
Oh, Chasey?
I probably would have been like, I don't know what you're doing, but if you
I would have followed her ass. I would have followed her.
Yeah, she was probably a kid, though. She probably couldn't do all that.
Well, she was like 16, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not every. I would have followed her, too.
I would have followed her,
and then I would have been like, look, bitch.
I would have been stalking that bitch. I would have gotten proof.
Look here, bitch. I saw what you
I'd
were
be like
doing.
Johnny Greco from Cheaters. Excuse
me. Hello. Are you available? Hey, why don't you sit down and talk to us for a second?
I'd watch that bitch for a week.
So naturally, Robert was, of course, furious about this. He immediately filed for divorce. I mean, he was just like, fuck this. He kind of already caught on to her being weird and distant. I mean, hell, he had already done it before himself.
Yeah, that's...
You know what I mean? So... I'm not victim blaming here, guys.
No, but I mean, there is a karmic aspect to that.
Is. No matter who you are, people are humans. He actually had a camera installed at the front of his house to see when Chasey would leave. And one night he actually saw Chasey leave and confirmed she had been leaving the house at night. He also had caught footage of Chasey leaving with a guy in the middle of the night. Hold that thought, what I just said about her leaving with a guy, because that's going to come back up too. But yeah, he had caught her leaving with a guy in the middle of the night. He had already been speculating that she had been doing all this, like I said before, but Robert kind of told his buddies at the fire hall how miserable his marriage was. He was just over it. I guess he just kind of had his fun, and he said that this was just pretty much too much. He was miserable. And according to what they said is he would talk about a lot that he felt like he made a mistake.
Okay.
Because he loved Amy, and she even said that he kind of went with the fact that he is getting older, and this younger woman that's
it may have been like a pre-midlife crisis kind of thing.
And he was just so struck that she was interested in him.
Yeah.
And she was everything that he thought he wanted at the time, I guess. Or that he thought he was lacking.
Okay. And kids, I mean, him and Amy had kids, and kids are hard on
they changed the whole demeanor of the whole relationship.
So, I mean, I think a lot of married couples, people that have been together that long and they have kids, I think that sometimes they tend to, their lives revolve around the kids.
Right.
And they don't really take as much time out for each other and their marriage.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what happened there. I'm not, insinuating that anybody did anything wrong. Or that Amy did anything wrong or anything like that. But, what I'm saying is, sometimes you're just going through the motions in your relationship. And maybe that's where they were at.
Yeah, because they had been married almost 20 years.
Not trying to justify adultery here.
No. But they had been married 20 years. No, like, people talk about it all the time. And you'll even talk to people that have been married for 20 plus years. It's not always easy.
No,
so
it's not.
It's all about being loyal and staying together. Apparently Chasey had claimed that she wanted to work it out and stay together, so she went to Robert and said that that's what she wanted to do. But she claimed she just wanted to do it for their daughter. So naturally, Robert stopped pursuing the divorce. He decided that he was going to give his marriage one last shot. So he thought it would be a great idea to take Chasey and their daughter on a family vacation to Cancun, Mexico, as kind of like a reconciliation trip.
Okay.
They returned from Mexico on Wednesday, September 7th. Robert returned back to work that following Thursday, the 8th. He told the guys at the fire hall that he was officially done with Chasey.
I take it the trip didn't go well?
Yeah, the trip did not go well at all. He said the trip to Mexico didn't fix anything. It seemed to only make matters worse, really. They argued the whole time. Robert also discovered that Chasey was talking to another guy the whole time they were down there, too. Damn. So, yeah. If you are having trouble in paradise, then you definitely need to get the fuck away from each other.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, one can understand you having problems in your everyday life.
Right.
But I mean, when you get away from all that and you're in this great place.
And you're still fighting.
And you're still fighting. Yeah, something's up there.
In this time, Robert had even contacted a divorce attorney and discussed the situation with them and what his options were. And he actually, I guess he did this through Facebook Messenger. I guess it was a buddy of his that he had hired as a divorce lawyer. Maybe it was his divorce lawyer from the first one. I don't know.
Repeat customers.
Yeah. Maybe.
Does he have a punch card where it's like you get the 10th one free?
You get the 10th one free. But
like the damn Smoothie King or something.
Apparently, Chasey had access to his Facebook, and she had actually saw this message he had sent to the divorce lawyer. Everything changed that coming Friday, September 9th.
Okay.
So, on September 9th, 2016, at sometime between 10:30 and 10:50 p.m., not really sure, because I've had different call-in
20 minutes.
Yeah, whatever.
Cool.
Between that 20-minute, between that 10 and 11. The Hunt County 911 dispatcher received a call from a frantic woman and could barely understand her. She was out of breath, and the dispatcher thought that it sounded like she was running. So the 911 dispatcher got a ping that the caller's cell phone led them to County Road 2595, which is just some kind of... It's a farmer's road. Not too many people go down it. It's literally like...
For like tractors and stuff?
Tractors.
Okay.
That's exactly what it's for. It's for tractors, for people to get through fields and things like that.
Okay.
As soon as the police arrive, they meet a woman at the end of the road covered in mud and blood waving them down. It was Chasey. On an officer's dash cam, you see Chasey approach them and crying and screaming. And she, by quote, "My husband, he went to help me. My Jeep is in the back around the corner and he's been shot in the head. Please, please help." So the police automatically tell her to hop in the back. They go rolling down County Road.
They put her in the back of the police car?
They went ahead and put her... Well, they put her in the back of an ambulance, I think, originally.
Okay, I wouldn't put her in the back of my car covered in blood.
No, they originally... I'm going to get that, too. They originally put her in the back of an ambulance. The police go down County Road 2595, and they find her Jeep that appeared to be unstuck in the mud. They approach the vehicle and find the body of 47-year-old Captain Robert L. Poynter III, shot in the head from a single gunshot wound. It did see that it was from a shotgun at a close range. Now, the video cam footage that you see on the 48 Hours episode and online is the body cam footage from Sergeant Meek. And what I'm about to tell you, it's better to watch that video because you actually see how Chasey acts, because he records this whole thing, and it's just crazy.
Is she being a little extra?
Super extra, and she's a terrible actress. She's a terrible actress. You know how you like to try to sing?
Yeah.
She tries to act, and it's terrible.
What are you trying to say?
I'll be releasing Christina's karaoke album later. I'm producing it. Just stay tuned, y'all. But yeah, I highly suggest looking at this body cam footage. Like I said, it was on the 48-hour mystery episode. If you find it, I know that the episode was called Witnessing a Murder.
Okay.
Like I said, Chasey's pretty much the worst actress ever. Right away, they thought her mannerisms and the way she spoke was just really weird. She would act like she was hyperventilating, and she was like causing herself to breathe fast and hard. The police, they just started asking her what happened. Chasey began talking about her and Robert's marital problems, like right offhand.
Okay.
So she's in the back. She's hyperventilating. She just starts telling him, "I don't want to be married anymore. I just didn't want to be married anymore." So he's like, "Okay,
girl, I'm not your therapist."
No, he was just like, "I think you have the right to remain silent. Like, anything that you could say can be used against you in the court of law." So he just started like
Miranda-izing her.
Because she literally, by quote, she said, "I just didn't want to be married anymore. When I got married, I was young and stupid, and I just don't want to be married anymore." So that's when he was just like...
Well, congratulations, you're not. Because your husband's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
And we need to find out why. So...
She's literally... It turned in kind of like to herself, I guess. Yeah, so at this point, he decides to recite her Miranda rights to her, just in case. I guess he saw where this was going.
Yeah.
Chasey had said that her and her husband Robert were supposed to meet at the local Jack in the Box for tacos to have a late dinner and discuss their marriage and how they were going to work it out. Now, me personally, I feel like that's a lie because she said she was going to Jack in the Box for tacos.
I like Jack in the Box tacos.
I mean, yeah.
If my marriage was in trouble, I would go get me some Jack in the Box tacos.
So the officers ask her, "So how did you get to this road?" Because she had lived there a long time. She knew where everything was at.
Maybe she had a boyfriend from like farmersonly.com.
Maybe that's... We'll get to that. Hold on. Maybe she did.
Have to be lonely.
So she said that she took a wrong turn. She just couldn't see. And the GPS had told her to turn around or something. And so she just turned. And her Jeep got stuck in the mud the farther she went down the road.
GPS will fuck you up.
What?
GPS will fuck you up.
They will fuck you up. They'll be like, "Turn right now."
I've been taken out to like a killing field before. I swear I thought cannibals lived down there. I was just trying to get to a park.
That's because it likes to update like right in the middle. Like it updates late. So she said when Robert arrived, she said she met him down at the end of the road because he parked at the end so his truck wouldn't get stuck trying to help her. They walked back together down the country road. Chasey told Sergeant Meek, as soon as he got into the driver's seat, she saw a man that was tall and dressed in all black come from behind the brush in the trees with a firearm, and he shot Robert in the head and just vanished.
Disappeared, huh?
Just disappeared. Okay. He didn't touch her. He didn't shoot her. Not at all.
There wasn't a getaway John Deere or something?
No, there wasn't. Or a horse or a goat or cattle?
None of that shit? Okay.
So while Chasey is saying all this, Sergeant Meek noticed that Chasey's hyperventilation and heavy breathing turns into like a stutter. It's almost like she's
just got over the top.
That's what she was doing.
And that's what people do when they're trying to cover this stuff up and they're trying to feign emotion. They just end up
looking like an
being
ass.
So extra, and it's just so unbelievable.
Looking like an ass.
Yeah.
She really looked like an ass. Like, that's why I'm telling you, you need to go watch that shit. It's almost like she was stuttering and breathing hard to try to create time for her to think about what she was going to say next. That type of thing.
Well, you would think that she'd, memorized a script or something if she was going to do this, but okay.
Chasey then admitted to Sergeant Meek in the back of a patrol car near the crime scene that before the murder, she had been with another man earlier and that she even had sex with him before calling him.
Again, girl, he's not your therapist. This is a police officer. Why are you... Dude doesn't need to know what you ate, who you fucked, and what you ate for breakfast. He needs to know why your goddamn husband is dead in the road.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So when Sergeant Meek asked who the man she had sex with earlier she said it was a man named Michael Garza. At this point, Sergeant Meeks feels like she's digging her own grave pretty deep, so he decides to bring her into the Royse City Police Department for questioning by the detective, which I felt like was a good idea. So as soon as they brought her down, she's brought into an interrogation room to be interviewed by Royse City Homicide Detective Michael Burke. So, of course, automatically she begins crying and telling Detective Burke that she was abused by Robert. When asked why she never reported the abuse, it's because she didn't want him to lose his job with the department and she didn't want to lose custody of their 6-year-old daughter. Detective Burke then asked Chasey, well, then who killed your husband? It doesn't take long for her to crack. Originally, she said that she had no idea who the man was that shot her husband because she couldn't see. He pretty much was just like, yeah, I know better than that. So who really killed your husband? And then finally she was like, Mikey did. And he was like, Mikey, who's Mikey? And she's like, Michael Garza.
Okay.
After that, she eventually starts talking about what she had been doing prior to the murder that night. Chasey says that she was at her friend's, Michael Garza's house, since earlier in the evening they hung out and had sex. She stated she had been telling Garza about the abuse at home and how she was tired of it. She said that Garza had agreed to go with her to meet Robert so that he can confront him about the abuse. Chasey stated that he was just supposed to talk to him and confront him. The plan was never to kill him. She claims she had no idea Garza was going to shoot him whatsoever. She says she just wanted him to know what it felt like to be bullied around. When Detective Burke asked her if she realized that Garza had put a shotgun into her Jeep whenever they were leaving to deploy Robert to the country road, she said she didn't notice putting a firearm in their car at all. And he thought that was really strange. Because how are you not going to notice him putting this big piece of hardware in your back seat?
Yeah, it's a shotgun.
Yeah. These interrogation tapes were later used for most damning evidence in Chasey's case. Royse City Police Department finally decided to charge Chasey with an accessory to murder for the time being. While still in the interrogation room, the police allowed Chasey's parents to come talk to her and visit her. As soon as Chasey's mom walked in, like, her own mother didn't even believe her because Chasey started saying that Robert was being abusive to her. And she was just like, well, how come you never told us about it?
Yeah.
Like, and then she was like, how come, she was like, because you don't understand. And da-da-da. And she was just like, and Robert was going to take the baby away from me. And Chasey's mom was just like, no, he wasn't, Chasey. He was not trying to take that child away from you. Because she literally had just talked to him that day. Like, the mother had talked to him that day. And I guess, like, Chasey's parents thought highly of him. Because you could just by the way her mom was reacting. And her mom even told her, I love you, but I can't deal with this right now. That just kind of shows you right there. So after all of that, in the interrogation room, Chasey was left alone for a while. In the audio, you hear her crying, what have I done?
I swear, I think do these people not realize, y'all, interrogation rooms always have cameras.
And audio. A lot of times they have audio.
It's like Jodi Arias singing and shit.
And like doing her yoga shit.
Her holy night shit. It's like, bitch.
That bitch was crazy.
I know, she was a scary bitch.
Michael Garza, we don't really know a ton about him. But what I do know is that he was a truck driver. He was 34 at the time that this happened. I'm sorry, he was 36. He was 36 at the time that this happened. And he was just kind of wrapped up into her. Like, they say that he was obsessed with her. I don't necessarily feel like, just by reading the text messages, I don't necessarily feel like he was obsessed with her. But I don't think he realized what kind of shit she was up to.
She was probably definitely manipulating him.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So, while the investigation is unwrapping all the lies, sex, money, and cover-up, investigators start looking more into Chasey's personal life. Really, they start going more into her text messages. Detectives were able to get her phone records and see that Chasey was involved with several different men. One being a fellow firefighter.
Damn. She's still standing out at the fire station.
Huh? Yeah.
Okay.
They saw contact with at least 4 different men. Those 4 men were Danny Mims, which is the fellow firefighter, Brad Golden, Sean Butcher, and Michael Garza. Several text messages show that Chasey was involved sexually with these men, and she was even fishing for her hero for weeks leading up to the murder. When I say that she was looking for her hero, she was literally texting these guys, telling her how...
My husband?
Yeah, pretty much like, I'm so abused, like, help me. I need somebody to stick up for me. I don't know what to do. I mean, like, she's telling this to all these people, like, to these different guys. The police bring in Brad Golden for questioning. And the reason why they're bringing Brad in is because, you know how I said a few minutes ago, Robert installed the camera system and he saw Chasey living with some guy?
Yeah.
Well, that guy was Brad Golden. He had actually showed up over there because she wanted him to. They kind of asked questions about their relationship, and he just kind of told them that Chasey would come to his house daily around 4 or 5 p.m. every day. He said their relationship was really just sex, nothing more, nothing less. He also said that Chasey would constantly text him and tell him about how abused she was by Robert. Like, she wanted him to do something about it.
And he's just trying to hit it.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, bitch, I don't care. Like,
yeah.
But no, well, he did tell her, like, look, I'll go down to the police with you, but I'm not gonna, he agreed to be support for her.
Right.
But she didn't want that.
But I mean, if you're comfortable enough reaching out to your lovers and telling them about the situation, right. I mean, why can you not go to the police? Why can you not go to your family? Why can't you go to...
Especially if it's gotten that bad.
A domestic abuse resource. And what kills me about this is if she was truly being abused by her husband, I seriously doubt she would be having all of these extramarital affairs.
Because you would be scared.
Right. You would think
if you were so abused, wouldn't you be scared that he would find out?
Yeah.
And beat the shit out of you?
Yeah. You would be terrified of your husband.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying that domestic abuse victims have never had extramarital affairs. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. And I'm not saying that they don't try to find something to cling to get out of that situation. I'm sure that happens as well.
And people that are truly
abused,
but
I mean, yes. 4 of them? I mean, there's 4 different men here.
Well, and here, I'm about to get to something because we're going to crack into the text messages a little bit.
Okay.
So, they asked Brad Golding about this. He said that pretty much he would go with her to the police department to report it, but she never wanted to do that. He had a feeling she was just trying to make him feel sorry for her. Investigators also found messages between Danny Mims and Chasey. And Danny Mims, like I said before, he's the fellow firefighter. Well, in the text messages, she literally said that she needed Robert gone in all caps. And Danny replied, well, I'm not a musician. And Chasey replied, well, I need one. So
you better find David Copperfield, bitch.
Make him disappear.
I'm not the one.
There's also text messages between her and Michael Garza. She actually said to him, damn, I wish that he would just run out of air in a fire. And he would make comments like, I will shoot that dude. like shit like that. And he had told her, like, you know, he loved her so much and that he would do anything for her. Like, she really had him wrapped. So I think at that point she was just like, ooh, I found my dummy.
Yeah. So he thinks that he's her everything, and really he's only like her 25%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally. He's one of
the
four.
Fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't know that, though. He finds out later.
I hope not.
They also find out that the man that Robert called her talking to on their vacation was Garza. And these messages show that Casey and Garza were pretty involved pretty much the whole time she was in Mexico and before. And also, Chasey had Garza falling for the abuse and battered woman facade. Police finally find out they have enough evidence to charge Chasey with more than just accessory to murder. Michael Garza and Chasey Poynter were both charged with first-degree murder. So they arrested Chasey. They were not able to find Michael Garza at first. They showed up at his family home, which he did live at home with his parents at the farmhouse. His parents owned a farm.
Okay.
They came to arrest him. The SWAT team ended up raiding his home, trying to search for evidence. They could not find the murder weapon. They weren't able to find anything. 2 days later, Garza turned himself in to the Royse City Police Department. He refused to talk to detectives and only wanted to speak with his attorney. They pretty much never got anything out of him, his side of the story or anything.
Because unlike Chasey, he knew how to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it was. I'm pretty sure at this point he was just like, this bitch needs to shut the fuck up. A month after the murders, near County Road 2595, a farmer that was plowing near unearthed a Mossberg camo shotgun that was consistent to ballistics as being the murder weapon to kill Robert Poynter.
Well, at least they used a camo shotgun to blend in.
What's funny is he had like a Facebook profile picture with the same gun on the back.
What the fuck?
And the gun was actually registered to Matthew Garza, which is Michael Garza's brother.
Okay.
They were definitely able to link that to him. Garza's trial was first. That actually began on July 10th of 2018. Garza pleaded not guilty. His defense team put it into play that he did not kill Mr. Poynter. It was Chasey that pulled the trigger. He just provided her with the weapon. He even insisted that he had an alibi. And his alibi was that he was caring for his sick cow named Oreo at the family's farm.
Okay. Did the cow testify?
No, that's what I'm saying. You should have picked a better alibi.
Did they subpoena the cow?
They should have, and the cow might have died. But damn, you should have asked for somebody a little bit more reliable to hang up your alibi.
Cow? Oh, he died.
Probably. I hope not. I hope Oreo's okay. But fuck Michael Garza. The jury did not believe his alibi, though, I guess because the cow didn't come testify.
Right.
But prosecution showed evidence that Mr. Garza's cell phone actually pinged to the crime scene that night. So his alibi was pretty much found to be not credible. The jury of 12 decided that he was guilty, and he was sentenced to 99 years in the Texas State Prison on July 20th, 2018. Michael Garza is eligible for parole in 2046. So, not too long after that, well, a year after that, Chasey went to trial in June of 2019. Her fight was still that she was just this abused woman and just wanted out.
She so reminds me of Jodi Arias. Did she... After she got found guilty, did she have like t-shirts and shit?
No, she was dressed like a damn librarian. Like
they always do. Jodi Arias of Texas, I swear to God. Okay. Moving on.
So of course Chasey claims that she did not kill him. It was Michael Garza's idea. She had no idea this was going on. The prosecution pretty much was just like, yeah, no, we have these text messages. So they pretty much blazed all her text messages on there. And not only that, they also showed the jury her little breakdown in the interrogation room. Where she pretty much said, oh my God, what have I done?
Doing the Jodi Arias thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Oh, holy night.
Was that what she was doing?
For real, yeah.
Interrogation. I've always listened to the story, but I've never watched the interrogation.
Oh, yeah. You need to go back and
I'm gonna have to
look
go do
into Jodi Arias because
I know true crime guys. Did you hear the
Jodi Arias? You are the scariest. Love true crime guys.
Jodi, bitch, you're the scariest.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's a ton of shit out there on her. Yeah.
Now we need to
It
make
was a
one
really...
about Chasey, you're a lying bitch.
Yeah.
So anyways, the jury found Chasey guilty of murder in the first degree, and she was actually sentenced to life with a minimum of 30 years to serve. So she will be eligible for parole in also 2046.
Okay, at least they get out together. They can get a place.
I'm pretty sure he hates her now.
Oh, you think he's done?
Yeah, she kind of flipped it all on him, and I think he was probably just like, bitch,
I think
shut
he
the
beat
fuck
out
up.
the other guys at that point. I would say he's the winner. I'd say he gets the final rose.
So now that Chasey is unable to raise her child, her and Robert's daughter now live with Robert's parents, and her parents share custody of the daughter.
Okay, that's
so
good.
she's still able to see both sides of her family.
That's good that, his side can put aside their feelings towards her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But
it definitely doesn't sound like her family enabled her at all. It seems like they were able to see the truth.
Oh, yeah. That's why I was like, I saw Mama.
They weren't doing the Cindy Watts thing.
No, not at all. Because when Mama came in there, I was just like, oh, her mama's like our mama. Like,
yeah. What the fuck did you do?
She's like, I love you, but what the fuck? But, yeah, so.
Sorry, my daughter's trash.
But we love her anyway. You're supposed to love your kids anyway.
Right.
So. But, yeah, so that is the story, the murder of Robert Poynter. On the episode of 48 Hour Mystery, they do ask Amy if she would have went back to Robert if things hadn't worked out the way they did, and she said absolutely she would have.
Oh, that's kind of sweet. I don't know if I would. Yeah.
I don't know if I would too, but hey, maybe she knew him better than anybody.
Everybody makes mistakes, but
yeah. So that's it for that one. We don't really have any business to really talk about.
No business.
I know Christina's going to be covering a pretty lengthy case coming up.
I am. I'm really excited about it.
I'm kind of excited about it, too.
Yeah, it's going to be a serial killer.
We haven't... Yeah, we have... Have we done
We've done one serial killer. Yeah, we did the Southside Strangler.
Yeah, he was a serial
did that
killer.
One? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
we're also going to be...
It's probably going to be a two-parter.
Yeah. We're also going to be breaking into some unsolved cases soon. I'm not going to speak about them right now, but...
yeah, we don't know exactly when we're going to get on those, but we're going to try to get them in there.
We're going to try to bring some light to some local cases.
Probably going to take a lot of work.
Yeah, we've decided this is going to be a podcast, not just covering other stuff, but we're also going to cover some really local stuff that goes on here in Nashville. And we just enjoy doing this. And I'm really excited about it. So, but anywho.
I'm excited.
And I just can't hide it.
Okay.
You want to do karaoke? Come on.
Not right now. Hit us up on Facebook.
At tcdownyonder@gmail.com.
Check us out on Instagram at
tc_downyonder.
Send us an email at...
We already did email.
What did we not do? We did
email?
Do Facebook. Oh, yeah. Okay. Check us out on Facebook.
www.facebook.com/tcdownyonder. And please, guys, add us on Spotify. Subscribe to us on Spotify, on Stitcher, I think we're on Google Podcasts now. Just wherever you can, just show some support. We're trying to get out there.
And I think you can actually rate us on Stitcher.
Can you rate us on Stitcher?
I need to look into that.
I'm pretty sure you can do it on Google, too.
Okay. So you can rate on Google, and I think you can on Stitcher. We are trying to get on Apple Podcasts. It's not easy.
Right.
It's process, but we're working on it.
And I am also in the process of opening us up a Twitter as well and a website. Okay. So, we're doing this little by little, guys, but we're hoping to get kind of big, I guess. I mean, we don't really care about that. We're having fun doing it. We just want people to listen, I guess.
We're pimping ourselves out.
Yep. But anyways, we appreciate you guys listening.
Yeah. So, until next time, in the meantime, don't make your alibi a fucking cow.
Don't listen. If your husband just got killed, just don't start talking to the police officer about y'all's horrible marital problems and your sex problems.
Who you had sex with that day.
Yeah, let's just save that for way later, okay? That was just way too much. But anywho.
And don't think that you're somebody's everything when you're only 25%, literally.
Yes. Please don't do that. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe trick.
All right. Until next time.
Bye, y'all.